Hey, it's always feels good to be wrong in these situations. Man, psh, it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, I don't know. I don't know sometimes. I'm not going to go to where I kind of want to go. All I'm going to say is, let's just talk about what happened on the court. Um, first off, before we start, Steph Curry is not the best player in the league, okay? He had the best season this year, no doubt. But he is not the best player in the league, okay? We know who the best player in the league is. We know. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Curry can do amazing things. He can do things that no one has ever been able to do. But at the end of the day, he's not the best player in the league. He's just not. He had 2 points in the first half. If he's not getting his 3-point shot, he's not doing anything out there. He's the weakest link on defense. I mean, LeBron shut down Draymond Green yesterday. They put him on Draymond and he destroyed him. He owned him. Okay? A great matchup for LeBron, horrible matchup for Draymond because LeBron is just a bigger, faster, stronger, more athletic, quicker, higher jumping Draymond with better basketball IQ as well. And Draymond's a great player. Great player. But he's going up against someone who's better than him at every phase of the game. And bigger and stronger and quicker than him. And it shows. He's getting completely dominated. He got completely dominated by LeBron. A great performance by LeBron. One of his best performances, probably his best performance of the playoffs. Not just from the offensive end. The offense, he's had a lot of games from the offensive end, but to the defensive end, to hold Draymond Green to 6 points. 6 points. Draymond was 2 for 8. Had 7 boards, 7 assists. 6, 7, and 7. LeBron had 32, 11, and 6. I mean, he took away what has been Golden State's best player, shut him down, and then on his end put up 32, 10, and 6. He dominated who was going to be the MVP for Golden State. He dominated that person. So, there's just no matter what happens in the series, I still think Golden State's going to win the series, but LeBron's the best player on the court, and he's the best player in this game, and he's the best player in the NBA, period. Okay, we know that. Now, back to the game, what else happened? Kyrie, he balled. The thing is this, if Cleveland can ball, if they can play like that, they're going to beat Golden State. It's just they're just shown they haven't had the, they haven't shown that they want to go play like that. Huh. So, my faith in them it can't be strong enough. They will definitely beat Golden State if they play like that, but that's the thing. Is Steph going to come out and be super... is Kyrie going to come out and be super Kyrie? Is LeBron going to come out and be super LeBron? Is everyone going to rebound? Is JR not going to be afraid? If all that comes together, if JR is aggressive and is confident, but the biggest thing that makes me, the biggest thing that gives me, some semblance of a chance now for Cleveland is that it's kind of ironic, these things. It's crazy, but if Kevin Love doesn't get hurt, the Cavs probably lose game 3. And I hate to say that, but it's true. And it's not because Kevin Love is bad. Kevin Love is awesome. It's just the matchups, man. The matchups are dictating a few things, and one thing that the matchups are dictating is that when Kevin Love's in the game with that starting crew, it's just too much speed, and Kevin Love gets hurt. Draymond Green can score on Kevin Love pretty easily, so that's a huge problem. But I think Cleveland has figured out, or at least realized that in order for them to have a chance in this game, LeBron's got to guard Draymond. LeBron's got to play the power forward, and then they can have one big man in there, one real big man. Which they're either going to have Tristan or Love in there, but there's got to be, they've got to have Kyrie, and they got to have Jr. And then they also got to have RJ start, Richard Jefferson. Those three have to start. And Love can't start. The mismatch is too bad. So at this point, the only time you're ever going to have like Tristan and Love in the game, or Tristan and Channing Frye in the game, anytime you're going to have those guys in the game, Love's not going to be in the game, and that's why. Otherwise, not Love. LeBron's not going to be in the game. If LeBron's in the game, he's going to be the power forward, and you can't afford to have two other bigs in there. You just can't, because Golden State's just too quick and too fast. Now, when we lower down and get our perimeter guys in there, then we can match up with them much better. We saw that, and that's what happened. That's how Cleveland was able to beat them. Also, RJ just brings he brings that veteran, that veteran salty dog confidence into the game, and the Cavs don't have that without him in there. So, the starting lineup for next game, the starting lineup for the rest of the series has to be Kyrie at the 1, JR at the 2, RJ at the 3, LeBron at the 4, and then Tristan at the 5. That's got to be your starting. You got to bring Love off the bench. Bringing Love off the bench is going to be super good for them, though. Super good for them for two reasons. One, he shouldn't be in the starting 5 because of the the mismatch it makes. But then two, you're always going to have a good big rebounding man in there with either him or Tristan. Him and Tristan should basically go back and forth. You know what I'm saying, and share time. LeBron should always guard Draymond, and that's how you're going to. Love can't guard any. The only person Love can guard is going to be the center, and he's not even. He really probably won't be able to guard those guys well, but you don't want him guarding Draymond because Draymond's way too quick for him. You don't want him guarding. You don't want him switching on defense and getting caught on Curry because that's a bad thing. So, But let's look into the numbers a little bit here. What exactly did happen? Okay, so Harrison Barnes had 18 points. He was 7 for 11. He got you 8 rebounds and 3 assists. And Harrison was the best player on the court for them. Steph had 19. He was 6 for 13. He had 6 turnovers. He had 3 assists. He had no rebounds. No, he had 1 rebound. Who cares about his rebounds? He's a little guy. But Steph, again, he didn't do anything. Thompson did even less. He was 4 for 13. It's crazy that we're not even talking about Klay, how bad he was. We're talking about how bad Curry was. And Klay was a lot worse even. He was 4 for 13, 1 for 7 from 3, while Curry was 3 for 9. He had 10 points. He did get hurt, but that's probably going to be a sore leg, too, in 2 days. He'll get through it. He'll play through it, but he's going to have to warm up for a good hour beforehand. Barbosa had 8 points. He was 2 for 5. First game I've seen that he hasn't shot over 50%. Spades was 1 for 4. Livingston 2 for 3 for 5 points. See, Iguodala 5 for 7, 11. Iggy had a good game, but all in all, Livingston got 5, Spades got 5, Barbosa got 8. It was like a 1 for 4, a 2 for 5. Iggy was 5 for 7, and Livingston was 2 for 3. So they were still efficient. They just didn't. Livingston just didn't. Livingston usually have like 12. He had 5. Barbosa, I think he was getting 10 to 12, maybe even a little bit more, maybe 14 on average in those first 2 games. I know one game, so even though that they played, Barbosa was 2 for 5. That's not a good game. So he was 4 for 6 from the free throw line though. So made up for it. So he got 8 points on five shots, which isn't bad. 16 points on 10 shots. That's good. 32 on 20. Not bad. LeBron. LeBron put up 32 on 26 shots. And that was a pretty efficient game. He was 14 for 26, so he shot over 50%, right around 56, 57% probably. Looking like. He also had 11 rebounds and 6 assists. So Thompson, 14 and 13. That's what you want from Tristan. 14 and 13. That's a solid game. Richard Jefferson. Now his presence doesn't show up on the stat sheet that much, but he had 9 points, 8 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals, 1 turnover. Solid game. Just 1 turnover, 2 assists, 2 steals, 8 boards. 9 points. He was 4 for 7. And he played great D. He played great D. Livingston had 5 points. He didn't get to go off. And then let's see. And then Klay Thompson. I think he must start off on Klay or Barnes. Barnes had a pretty. Barnes was kind of giving it to Richard, but hey, it's all good. Barnes had 18 points, so he had a pretty good game. JR though, on the Cavs, 7 for 13. Love it. That's 20 points. 7 for 13, 20 points. He was 5 for 10 from 3. He shot 50% from 3. You take that every day, all day long. Irving was 3 for 7 from 3, although it looked like he was 8 for 10 the way he was shooting out there. But Kyrie put up 30 points. He was 12 for 25. That's good. That's good. It's good in this atmosphere, especially when your counterpart, when Curry goes 6 for 13 with 19, you put up 30, you're good. You took 6 less shots, made 11 more points. You took 6 more shots, made 11 more points. You also had 8 assists, where Curry only had 3. So Kyrie has been passing more. That's one thing I've noticed. And that's a good trend. That's a big trend for him. 2 turnovers. It's okay. 8 assists, 2 turnovers, 1-to-4 ratio. It's not bad. Let's see, what else? No. The bench really didn't do too much. Shumpert had 3 points. Mozgov had 2. Fry had 2. Mo had 3. It was just a great performance by the Cavs starters and a great defensive effort on top of that. Because Golden State's bench was a teeny bit more effective, but not really. The Cavs, Shumpert was 1 for 5, but everyone else was 1 for 2 on the bench and 2 for 2. So you had 50% shooting from 5 out of 6 guys. That's good, even though they only shot once or twice. Well, they shot twice. Whereas Golden State, the bench had a little bit more points, but it took a lot more shots to get there. So, all in all, what I saw, the stats are obviously heavy in the Cavs' favor. Kyrie with 30, LeBron with 32, JR with 20. JR had more than any Golden State starter. Barnes had 18. Curry had 19. Klay had 10. So 19, 10, and 18 versus 32, 30, and 20. That was a difference. That was pretty much the difference right there. And then, when it comes to total rebounds, the best guy was Barnes with 8. LeBron had 11 rebounds and Tristan had 13. So, again, 2 guys on Cavs with a lot more than and even Jefferson had 8. So, Jefferson had was tied. The third guy on the Cavs was tied with the first guy on Golden State. Yeah, not much else to really point out other than also Cavaliers came out and they had another level of energy. A lot more pep in their step, a lot more movement. Golden State switches a lot. You know, they're constantly switching, and the Cavs gave a lot more movement right off the bat, and all that switching can mess a team up, and that's kind of what the Cavs did to the Golden State's defense. So we'll see if that trend can continue. We'll see if Cavs have learned that, hey, we need to put more movement to mess up their, you know, always forever switching defense. You know, I'm not even gonna. I wanted to give a prediction for Game 4. I'll make a prediction video. But for now, you know, great game by the Cavs. They stepped up. Again, the biggest keys to the Cavs winning again are going to be starting Richard Jefferson at the 3, moving LeBron to the 4, making sure Kevin comes off the bench. Okay, that's number 1. 2, the intensity on defense. They had great intensity on defense. You know, that's why I mean, that's the kind of intensity you need to stop a guy like Curry. And they're putting that high pressure on him. He's shown to be not nearly as effective, which I'm not surprised at. But those are really, and then third is just LeBron and Kyrie coming out tough, you know. Those guys got to come out and set the tone. LeBron's got to set the tone. Kyrie's got to come out and back him up. And then JR needs to be aggressive. Those are my keys right there. Those, you know. It's kind of like 3 keys, but really 2 and then 3 more. But, yeah. You know, that's what's going to be the key. Starting Richard Jefferson at the 3. Moving LeBron to the 4. Bringing Love off the bench. That's the first key. Second key. Super high intensity on defense. Third key, LeBron, Kyrie, and JR all have to step up. JR has to be aggressive. If he's aggressive, the Cavs are going to be in good shape. So, that's it for this. Don P. Like, follow, subscribe. And I'll give you the prediction coming up here in a little bit.